Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this live class. Just give me a minute. Okay. Welcome to today's live class. We'll start in 2 minutes. Sorry. Okay. I think we are all set. So today what we are looking at is factorization of algebra. Factorization. Okay. So this topic is a very important topic in mathematics, and it serves as one of the foundations for more advanced topics in equations and other parts of mathematics. So first thing we need to know is what is an algebra. Remember, we're looking at factorization of algebra, or we can call it factorization of algebraic expressions. It's either we call it factorization of algebra or we call it factorization of algebraic expressions. So first thing is, what is an algebra? An algebra is a mathematical expression that contains numbers and alphabets, numbers and letters. So an algebra is a mathematical expression that contains both numbers and alphabets. Okay. So an algebra contains numbers. An algebra also contains alphabet. So whenever you see hello Sam, so whenever you Nuri, you're welcome. So whenever you see a mathematical expression, and in that mathematical expression you can see numbers in it, you can also see alphabet in it, that is an algebra. So if you have something like this, 2a, this is a simple form of an algebra. 2 here is a number, a is an alphabet. So any mathematical expression in this form is an algebra because it contains a number and it contains an alphabet. So there are more complex forms of algebras But whenever you can see a number there and you can also see an alphabet there, then that is an algebra. So other examples are x squared plus 4. So in this expression, we can see numbers, we can see alphabet, therefore this is an algebra. Also, if you have something like this, 10y squared z plus 15y squared yz squared. Now, this is also an algebra because in it you can see numbers there. Although here we have two different alphabets, but it is still an algebra. As I said earlier, there are more complex forms of algebras, but in this particular video, we are looking at introduction to algebra, which is factorization of algebra. So we have seen what an algebra is. Next, we want to look at factorization of algebra. Sorry, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Okay, so we've seen what an algebra is. Now we want to look at what factorization of algebra is. Let's continue. Hope I can wipe this off. Oh, lovely. Okay. I said earlier that an algebra is a mathematical expression that contains both numbers and alphabet. So whenever you see anything in mathematics and in that you can see numbers in it, and you look closely, you can also see alphabets in it, that mathematical expression is an algebra. Okay, so I gave different examples and I said there are still more complex forms of algebra. For example, you have 2a. 2a is a simple form of algebra, the simplest form you can ever see, because here we have 2 as a number, a is the alphabet. Okay, also you have, this is an algebra, you have x squared plus 4, it is an algebra. You have 10y squared z plus 15yz squared. Any mathematical expression that you can find numbers and you can find alphabet qualifies to be an algebra. Okay, so let's continue. So now let's start with factorization of algebra. So factorization is gotten from the word factors. Factorization, factors. Okay, so factorization. So to understand factorization better, we need to go back, take a step back to understand what factors of a number are. Okay, for us to understand this, we need to take a step back to understand what factors of a number are. So the factors of a number are those numbers that can divide the particular number without leaving a remainder. So if you want to say the factors of 10, if you want to find the factors of 10, so factors of 10. Factors of 10 are the numbers that can divide 10 without leaving a remainder. So starting from the smallest factor of 10, which is 1, we have 1 times 10. This will give us 10. We also have 2 times 5. This will give us 10. So this means the factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. So all these numbers are factors of 10. Now let's take it back to algebra. The factors of an algebra are those numbers or algebra that can divide a given algebra without leaving a remainder. So when you use the factors of an algebra to divide an algebra, there will be no remainder. Okay? But how do you get the factors of an algebra? The factors of an algebra, you can get them just the way we did here. Two numbers can multiply themselves to give us 10. Therefore, these two numbers are factors of 10. 2 and 5 can multiply themselves to give you 10. Therefore, 2 and 5 are also factors of 10. Right? Good. So we can say that the factors of an algebra are the numbers or algebras that will multiply themselves to give a particular algebra. So let's write that. Okay, so the factors of an algebra are the numbers or algebra that will multiply themselves to give the algebra. So when we find the factors of an algebra, what we are trying to look for is two algebras or a number and an algebra that will multiply themselves to give a particular algebra. Okay, so that's what factorization is. What I'm trying to do is explain before we start solving. Okay, so I'll give a minute, then I'll continue. So whenever you are trying to get the factors of an algebra, or whenever you are trying to factorize an algebra, it is important to know how to find the HCF of an algebra. The HCF of an algebra. Does anybody know how to find the HCF of algebras? Does anybody know how to find HCF of algebras? Should we do like 2 examples before we continue? Should we do 2 examples on how to find the HCF of algebras? Somebody said no. I guess that means the person does not know how to find. Okay, somebody said yes. Okay, we should go ahead to look at that. Okay, so let's look at how to find HCF of algebras. Okay. Okay, so let's start with 2 algebras. Example. Okay, so let's find this, the HCF of these 2 algebras. So just as we normally do when we are looking for the HCF of numbers, what we are going to do is break down this algebra separately, and see what is common between them. Okay, what I mean is you have 10y squared z. You have 15yz squared. Okay, so let's break this down. what can divide? We start breaking it down from the numbers before we go to the alphabet. We break down from the numbers, okay? Nuri said 5YZ. Okay, let's see how Nuri got that answer. So we divide by 2 here. This divided by 2, 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. Y squared Z. We are done with 2. The next number that can divide is 5. So 5 divide here, we have Y squared Z. Now we are done with all the numbers. We focus on the alphabet now. So we have Y. When Y squared Z is divided by Y, we are going to have YZ. Because Y squared is the same thing as Y times Y. Y squared is the same thing as Y times Y. When it is divided by this Y will cancel Y. So we will be left with 1Y. Okay? So next we divide again by Y, and then we're going to have Z. If we divide again by Z, we divide by Z, now we're going to have 1. Okay? So we go to this one, we have what is going to divide first is 3. This will give us 5YZ squared. Then we divide by 5. This will give us YZ squared. Now we are done with the numbers. We go to the alphabet, we divide by Y. This will give us Z squared. And then we start dividing by Z or Z, according to some of my students. This will give us Z. And finally, we divide by Z again, and this will give us 1. Okay, so we have broken down this, and we have broken down this value. The next thing we are going to do is write down these values. So we know that 10Y squared Z is equal to 2 times 5 times Y times Y times Z. And also 15YZ squared is equal to 3 times 5 times Y times Z times Z. So we've written down these algebras in their expanded form. So now we look at these two and see what is common between them. So 5 is common, Y is common, and Z is common. Okay, so 5 is common, Y is common, and Z is common. Therefore, we bring out what is common. What is common is 5 times Y times Z. Sorry, I'm writing it here because of space. And then that gives us 5YZ. Okay? So that becomes the HCF. Now, this is important when we are factorizing because you need to know how to find the HCF for you to factorize correctly. Because when you want to bring out the common values, if you don't use the HCF, you might not get the required answer. Okay? Let's go ahead to solve another example. Hope I can wipe off the board. Okay. Let's look at another example. Let's look at 20 PQ and 30 QR. 20 PQ and 30 QR. Let's see how to find the HCF of these two. So just as we did in the first example, we break this down first, break this down also, and look for what is common. So 20 PQ. So We break it down by using prime numbers. So 2, this will give us 10 PQ. We can still divide by 2, so we have 2, we have 5 PQ. The next one we're going to use to divide is 5. So we have 5, we have PQ, and then we have P, we have Q, and Q, we have 1. Let's try out. Get Behanu, you're welcome. Nice to see you. Next, let's try 30 QR. So dividing again by 2, we have 2 here, we have 15 PQ. We have, someone said 5Q. Are you sure about that? 5Q. We have 3 now. This will give us 5 PQ. We have 5. This will give us PQ. Sorry, still use QR. QR. And then Q, we have R. And R, we have 1. So let's see what's common. For 20 PQ, we have 2 times 2 times 5 times P times Q. And then for 30 QR, we have 2 times 3 times 5 times Q times R. Okay. So looking here, we have 2 here, we have 2 here, so 2 is common. We have 5 here and we have 5 here, 5 is common. And we have Q here, we also have Q here, so Q is common. Okay? So that means the HCF is 2 times 5 times Q, which gives us 10Q. Okay. So this is very important. This is very important. Now let's look at how to apply that when factorizing. So we're going to look at how to factorize numbers. Sorry, how to factorize algebra. Now we are about to start the actual topic. So I'll just give 1 minute, correct? Virginia, nice to see you on YouTube. Nice to see you on YouTube. Ken, you're welcome. Is it in core mathematics? Yeah, I think it's in core mathematics. Yeah, it's core mathematics, of course. Core mathematics, if you mean ordinary mathematics, yes, it is. Ella, you're welcome from TikTok. Sword or past question? Past question on what? Because my audience are from diverse places, different countries. So they might all have past questions from their different exam bodies. So that's why I focus on teaching topics and not past questions. But one of the topics we voted for on my platform that was 2 days ago was sword. I think few persons voted for sword. So, but the majority of the votes were for factorization and matrix. But at the end of the day, factorization won for this week. Okay, so let's look at factorization of algebra. Okay, so example, factorize okay. So we're going to start with something very easy. We're going to factorize x squared plus 4x b 2x squared plus 8x. C 6a squared b cubed plus 12a to the power of 4b. Okay. Please help me tap on the screen on TikTok. Help me tap on the screen so that other students can join the live class. Okay, so we are factorizing these algebraic expressions, starting with a. A, we have x squared plus 4x. So this is an algebraic expression, but if you look at it in a different way, this is also an algebraic expression, and this is also an algebraic expression. So you can consider them together, or you can consider them separately. What I mean is that for you to factorize this, you first have to consider them separately. And that's the only way you can find their HCF. Okay? So it is when you consider them separately in your mind, you now say, okay, if these are two different algebras, what will be their HCF? Those on YouTube, is the network clear? Can you guys see the board? So this now is one algebra, but when you want to factorize them, you consider this as a different algebra, you consider this as a different algebra, and then you find their HCF. So if I may ask, what is the HCF of x squared and 4x? What is the HCF of x squared and 4x? What is the HCF of x squared and 4x? Does anybody know the answer? X, okay? X, good. X. So we'll write it down, X. So once you can write out the HCF, the next thing is you open a bracket or a parenthesis. So once you write down the HCF of the algebra, you open a parenthesis. Next, you're going to divide this algebra by this. And then you're also going to divide this one by this. So you're going to have x squared divided by x. What are you going to have? X squared divided by x. What are you going to have? You're going to have x, okay? So x squared divided by x means x times x divided by x. So 1x will cancel 1x, you're going to have x. You bring the plus sign down. Then you're going to do 4x divided by x. 4x divided by x. X is going to cancel x, you're going to have 4. What you have done now is you have factorized, excuse me. So what you have done now is you have factorized this algebraic expression. So now this is a factor of this algebra, and this is also a factor of this algebra. So now we have separated this algebra into two different algebras. So this is a factor, this is also a factor. So that is what we call factorization. Are we having a network issue?
Have you heard?
Are we back? Those of you on TikTok, are we back? Sorry, the TikTok platform just logged me off. I don't know why. Okay, I think we are back. Okay, so now we have factorized. In simple terms, we have divided this algebra into two of its factors. So that's what factorization is. So this value x can divide this algebra without a remainder. This value x plus 4 can also divide this algebra without a remainder. So both of them are factors of this algebra. Okay? Hope we can continue. Hope we can continue. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, if you decide to multiply them together, you're going to get this back. But that is the opposite of the process of factorization. That is actually expansion of algebra. Yeah, I can see that the network is really misbehaving. The network is really misbehaving. Let's try. Okay, let's look at the second example. So we have 2x squared plus 8x. 2x squared plus 8x. So 2x squared plus 8x, this is one single algebra. But for us to factorize it, we have to consider them as two separate algebras. Since we consider them as two separate algebras, we can now find the HCF of the two of them. So what is the HCF of 2x squared and 8x? What is the HCF of 2x squared and 8x? Yeah, if Kiki, if you want me to teach ratio and proportion, ratio was one of the topics that was really demanded for, but the vote was not enough for it to carry the day. So if you want to influence, if you want to truly influence what we are learning on this platform, then you have to join my WhatsApp group so that when it is time for us to vote for the topic that we're going to learn for that particular week or for any particular week, your vote will be a +1 to this topic that you want to learn. Okay, some persons say 2x as the HCF, some persons say x. First, if you want to easily get the HCF, I've shown you guys how to find the HCF, but just by looking at this, you can find the HCF. You look at the numbers first. You look at the numbers. The number here is 2, the number here is 8. What is the highest number that can divide both 2 and 8? The answer is 2. So you pick that out for 2. You pick that out for the numbers. Then you go to the alphabet. Here you have x to the power of 2. Here you have x. So whenever you want to pick the HCF of the alphabet, pick the one with the smaller exponent or smaller power. So here is x to the power of 2, here is x to the power of 1. So you pick this one with the smaller exponent. If here we have x to the power of 6 and here we have x to the power of 4, you will pick the one with the smaller exponent, which will be x to the power of 4. So in this case, the smaller exponent here is x. So we have it as x. So this is the HCF of this and this. Now we can open the parentheses. So 2x squared divided by 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x. 2x squared is the same thing as 2 times x times x. Divided by 2x is the same thing as 2 times x. So 2 we cancel 2. X we cancel x. So we are left with x. Right? So x plus 8x divided by 2x. What do we have? 8x divided by 2x. 8x divided by 2x. 4, correct. So we have 4. So just by doing this, we have been able to factorize this algebra to become this. So now we are going to step up to this one. But following this simple process, no matter how complex the question looks, you can solve it very easily. No matter how complex it looks, you can solve it easily. Honey mixed with wealth. That's a nice name. Honey mixed with wealth. In what proportion is the mixture? Can we continue? Can we continue? Okay, let's continue. So here we have 6a squared b to the power of 3 plus 12a to the power of 4b. So 6a squared b to the power of 3 plus 12a to the power of 4b. So in this situation, we just follow what we've done before. So the first thing we do, we consider the numbers. We consider the numbers first. So looking at 6 and 12, what is the largest number that can divide both 6 and 12? 6 and 12. What's the largest number that can divide both 6 and 12? Nuri is faster than every one of us. That's 3. Is 3 the largest number that can divide both 6 and 12? 6. Because 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So 6 is the largest number that can divide both 6 and 12. The largest number can also include the number itself. So in this case, 6 can divide 6. So the largest number is 6. So we have 6. So we have written the HCF of 6 and 12. Next, we go to the alphabet. We focus on each alphabet. So we focus on one before we go to the other. So looking at a squared and a to the power of 4, I said earlier that you choose the alphabet with the smaller exponent. So here we have a squared, here we have a to the power of 4. So that means we're going to have a squared. So we are done with a. We go to b. Here we have b to the power of 3, here we have b. So we also choose the one with the smaller exponent, which will give us b. And then once we are done, we'll open the parentheses. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is 6 divided by 6. Let's look at it now. 6a squared b to the power of 3 is 6 times a times a times b times b times b divided by 6 times a times a times b. Right? Okay, so here 6 will cancel out 6. A will cancel out A. A will cancel out A, B will cancel out B. So what we have left is B times B. And B times B is B squared plus, hope we, hope we understand that. Good. Next, we have 12 A to the power of 4B. 12 times A times A times A times A times B divided by 6 times A times A times B. Okay, so here 6 and 12. 12 divided by 6 will give us 2. 1A will cancel 1A, 1A will cancel 1A, and B will cancel out B. So we'll have this left. So that means we have 2 times A, which is 2A squared. 2A squared. Good. So with this, we have factorized this algebra to get this. So factorization of algebra is really easy to solve. So I'd like you guys to solve what I'm about to write on the board and tell me the answer. Those of you on YouTube, you have a chance to win a cash gift. If you want to join those that will be winning a cash gift, that means in our next class, you have to watch on YouTube. Okay? It's only open to students on YouTube. Most likely for you to watch on YouTube, it's either you go directly or you join my WhatsApp group. Okay, so let's do the classwork. So this is the first prize that anybody will be getting on this platform. Remember, I said it's for students on YouTube. So we have so the first person on YouTube to give the answer gets just $2 cash prize. $2, sharp, sharp. But it's open to only students from about 20 African countries because those are the places I can send money to. Okay. So two. So the first person to tell me this on YouTube gets $2. The first person to tell me this on YouTube gets another $2. Okay. So yeah, those on TikTok can also put their answers. Oh, that was great. TikTok have already given me the answer. How I wish Nuri was on YouTube. Okay, let's see from YouTube. Bismarck is correct. So Bismarck is the first student. I guess you're on my WhatsApp group. I guess so. So Bismarck, let me write your name. Bismarck, are you on the WhatsApp group? Bismarck, are you on the WhatsApp group? So I can inform you when you have to send me a direct message on WhatsApp, so that we'll get it going from there. Bismarck, are you on the WhatsApp group? First, 3m minus 25n. How did you get 25? 3n parenthesis m minus 2. Natasha, I think you tried, but there's something missing in Natasha's answer. So Bismarck, if we don't, Bismarck also said for the second option, 7x squared y squared, parenthesis, let me write your answer down. 7x squared y squared, parenthesis, y squared plus 3x cubed. Okay. Okay, so who on TikTok has gotten the answer for the second question? So if you want to join my WhatsApp group, those of you on TikTok, you can just send me a DM at the end of today's live class. And then you got the same, but you can't post it. You have been posting answers since, now you cannot post. Anuri, you mean you got the same answer for number 2? No, it's declining your message. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at them together. So Bismarck, I was asking, are you on the WhatsApp group? If you are, I'll send a message at the end of the live class so you can contact me. So, or you just once at the end of the live class, you go to the WhatsApp group, click on my number and send me a message directly. But before I make the payment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you something that you're going to send as a comment in one of my videos to confirm that you are the person chatting with me, so that someone else will not chat with me and then claim the price. So I'll give you a question. I'll give you something to type on any of the videos that I've done on YouTube as a comment. So if you type that, then I know you are the person. Okay. So let's look at the first one together. We have 3mn minus 6n squared. So as we did earlier, it is very simple. You look at the two numbers. What is the largest number that can divide both 3 and 6? The answer is 3. So we write it down. So over here, we have m. Over here, we don't have m. So m is not common. So we are not going to write it here. And then over here, we have n. Over here, we have n squared. So we pick the smaller one, which is n. And then n, 3mn divided by 3n. 3 is going to cancel 3, n is going to cancel n. So we have n minus 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. N squared divided by n will give us n. And that becomes the answer. Okay? Thank you so much for being there up to this point. I'm not replying my message. My message on TikTok or my message on WhatsApp. Where? Okay, let's look at the second one. The second one we have 7x squared y to the power of 4 plus 21 x to the power of 5 y to the power of 2. So looking at this, we know that the number 7 and the number 21 have something in common. The largest number that can divide both 7 and 21 is 7. So we've gotten the largest number, we've gotten the HCF of the numbers. We look at the alphabet. The first one is x. So x squared and x to the power of 5. What is common is x squared. Y to the power of 4, y to the power of 2. We have y to the power of 2. Okay, now you're going to do 7x squared y to the power of 4 divided by 7x squared y to the power of 2. This will cancel out this. 7x squared will cancel out 7x squared. Now we have y squared divided by y to the power of 2. That will give us y to the power of 2 plus 21 divided by 7 will give us 3. X to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3 will give us x to the power of 3. Y to the power of 2 divided by 1, y to the power of 2 will cancel out. So this becomes our answer. Okay. Well done, guys. So we've seen what an algebra is. We've seen what factorization of algebra means. We've solved some questions on factorization of algebra. And now we want to look at a situation called factorization by grouping. So in these situations we've solved, we only have two groups. But we can have a situation where we have 3 groups, 4 groups, and so on. So whenever you have, for example, 4 groups, then you have to group them in twos. So that is what we are going to look at as our final segment of today's class. You can watch the replay of this live class on my YouTube channel at any time. Okay? You can watch it at any time. You can also share it with your friends. If you feel this class was helpful for you, and you have classmates, you have friends that you would like to also watch this video, you can send them a link of the video from my YouTube channel, or I'll be posting it on the link on the bio of my TikTok group, my TikTok page. The link on my TikTok page, I'll also post it there so you can share it with your friends. Thank you. So factorization by grouping. In our class on Friday, we are going to look at factorization using we are going to look at factorization of quadratic expressions, and we're also going to look at factorization on using difference of two squares. Okay, so on Friday we are going to look at difference of two squares, which is a method of factorization. We're also going to look at factorization of quadratic expressions. Okay, you have to break it up. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, correct. The answer is correct. Sorry, I'm just seeing your message. Okay, so factorization by grouping. So whenever you have any quadratic expression that contains more than 2 groups, like this example we have here, okay, 1 minute. focus on my lens on YouTube is not really good. Okay, I think it's better. So if we have an example like this, if we are told to factorize 6n to the power of 3 plus 3n to the power of 2 plus 8n plus 4. So we can only do this using factorization by grouping. So this means we are going to group these two together. We factorize them as a group, and we factorize this as a group, right? Good. That's the only way we can do that. We have to factorize this as one group. We factorize this as one group. So let's look at how that is going to work. Let's see how that's going to work. But one of the things one of the rules is that the values you are factorizing together must have common factors. For example, you look at here 6 and 3, there's something in common. And also the alphabet, there's something in common. Over here, alphabets, they don't have something in common, but at least the numbers, there's something in common. So there must be something in common between the numbers or the alphabets. If you can't find something in common, then you have to reshuffle the arrangement. You have to reshuffle the arrangement. Okay? So if you have two, let's say you have 6n to the power of 3 plus 7y to the power of 2. Looking at this, there's nothing in common. So if there are other values that have something in common with 6, you have to bring that over to the front and push this backward. Okay. So here there's something in common. So let's factorize by grouping. So looking at 6n to the power of 3 and 3n to the power of 2. For the numbers, 3 is common. For the alphabet, n squared is the highest common factor. So we have n squared. And then we open the bracket. So we have 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. N to the power of 3 divided by n squared gives us n. Plus 3n squared divided by 3n squared, that will give us 1. Okay, so bring the plus sign down. 8n and plus 4. 8 and 4, what is common is 4. 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. N divided by, there's no alphabet there, so you bring down n. Plus 4 divided by 4 gives us 1. So in order to know that you are on the right track, what is inside this bracket must be the same as what is inside this bracket. If they are not the same, then you need to step back and rearrange what you have here, or check the way you factorized. But what is inside these two brackets must be the same at all times. Okay? So now you have the same values in the bracket. These two values outside the bracket, you put them in one bracket. So this will give us 3n squared plus 4. Since these two are the same, you pick 1, 2n plus 1. So on Saturday, we're going to have a class where we'll be learning the opposite of factorization. The opposite of factorization is expansion of algebra. So we're going to be learning expansion of algebra. This value here can be expanded to give you this value. So we're going to be learning the process of converting this back to this. Okay, you got it correct. That's good. So let's continue. Let's look at one more question. One more question for today. One more question for today. 3x squared minus 28 minus 12x plus 7x. Okay. So let's look at what we should do here. So if you look at these two equations, we're expected to factorize these two together. We're expected to factorize these two together. But let's look if we can find common factors in each of these groups. So if you look at these two, the numbers here, the number here is 3, the number here is 28. Is there any number that can divide both 3 and 28 without leaving a remainder? Is there any number? You need SS3 maths. No, there's no number that can divide both 3 and 28. This means they don't have a common factor. Now you have x squared here, but you don't have x here. So we have considered the numbers, we've considered the alphabet, and we can't find anything in common in this first group. Going over to the second group, we have 12x and we have 7x. 12 and 7 have nothing in common as numbers. There's no common factor between 12 and 7. However, x is here, so they have something in common. But we cannot go further to do this factorization process because this first group have nothing in common. So that means we have to reshuffle this arrangement. We need to move 28 out of this position and bring a number that has something in common with 3x squared. Okay, so we can bring minus 12x over, because if you look at 3x squared and minus, remember, the sign in front of this value belongs to this value. So if I'm moving this 12x, I have to carry this minus along with it. If I'm moving 28, I have to carry this minus along with it. If I'm moving 7x, I have to carry this plus along with it. So you should always be careful with that. So we want to move minus 12x over here and bring 28 over here. The reason is that 28 and 7 have common factor. The common factor is 7, because 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, so let's move it. This could be okay, but we observe that in this relationship, the smaller number is in front and the bigger number is behind. However, in this relationship, the bigger number is in front and the smaller number is behind. So this will not really give us an accurate answer. So the best position to put minus 28 is behind. So this will be plus 7x minus 28. So this arrangement looks better because we have small number, big number, small number, big number, right? So now you can factorize. So factorizing 3x squared and minus 12x, 3 and 12, 3 can divide both of them. So you have 3. X squared and x, what is common is x. Now you can open the parentheses. Yeah, Virginia, why are you saying no? No to what? What are you saying no to? So 3x squared divided by 3x, 3 is going to cancel 3. X squared and x, 1x will cancel out, so we'll have x minus 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. X and x will cancel out. So that's what is in the parentheses. plus 7 and 28, what is common is 7. X, and there's no X here, so the alphabet is not common. 7x divided by 7 will give us X, minus 28 divided by 7 will give us 4. So that shows that if you look at this, you see that there's something, both of them are the same. So now the values outside the bracket, we put them together. 3x plus 7. The values inside the bracket, since they are the same, we'll just write 1. 4 minus, sorry, x minus 4. X minus 4. Thank you guys for being here to the end of the class, because we are almost done with today's class. As I said earlier, if you want to join my WhatsApp group, send me a DM. If you're on TikTok, send me a DM. Send me a DM if you're on TikTok. Nuri, you're welcome. Okay, I'd like you guys to solve this classwork, and then we'll be done with today's class. Okay, quickly. Solve this and let me know the answer you got. 5 minutes and then we'll be done with today's class, before TikTok locks me out for today. Okay. Please guys, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also turn on the bell notification so that you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Please help me turn on the bell notification after subscribing. Also watch my videos till the end, and watch again and watch again. So has anybody gotten the answer to this question? So remember, on Friday we're having the class again, same time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Today I was a little bit late for the class. 8 p.m. Nigerian time. We'll be considering difference of two squares as a method of factorization. Okay. So on Friday we'll be considering difference of two squares as a method of factorization, and also how to factorize quadratic expressions. Those are the two things we'll be looking at on on Friday. Then on Saturday, we'll consider expansion of algebra. So that will conclude our topic on algebra for this week. So has anybody gotten the answer for this classwork? Sorry, the TikTok audience, the live session was suddenly ended. That's how it goes on TikTok. Once it is about an hour, the system will just log me out. So I have to start again. Okay. So this brings us to the end of today's class. Thank you for being here up till this point. Thank you guys. I really, 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 really appreciate your presence. Doofy, is it Doofy? You're welcome. Though we are almost done for today's class. You're welcome. Okay. Virginia, you said the answer is x squared plus 4 parenthesis x minus 3. Okay, so let's solve it, and then we'll be done for today. So remember, you can watch it over and over to perfect your understanding, and also practice more questions outside of the ones we've solved. You can go online to search for more questions on the topic to get yourself more comfortable with the topic. Okay, let's look at it. So we are factorizing by grouping. So looking at these two, something is common. Although we don't have a number, we have a number here. The number is actually 1, but there's no common factor. The common factor is 1, which we don't need to write. So we have x to the power of 3, x to the power of 2, x to the power of 2 is common. X to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 2 will give us x minus 3x to the power of 2 divided by x to the power of 2. This will give us 3 plus 4x minus 12. Looking at the numbers, 4 is common, and 4x divided by 4 will give us x minus 12 divided by 4 will give us 3. Okay, good, good. So the next thing is we pick the values outside the bracket, put them in one bracket. So we have x squared plus 4 into x minus 3. Perfect. Perfect. That's good. So with this, we've come to the end of today's class. We continue on Friday, by the grace of God, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. 8 p.m. Nigerian time. So thank you to everyone on TikTok. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you to everyone on YouTube. I also appreciate your presence greatly. Those of you on TikTok, if you want to join my WhatsApp group, send me a DM immediately after the live class, and then we'll get started with the process. Actually, it's free. In case you're thinking maybe you need to pay for it, it's actually free. It's a free WhatsApp group. Can I explain? Ella, what do you want to explain? Explain the whole process again? Wow. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. So we have x to the power of 3 minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 12. We're expected to factorize this. Yeah, send me a DM after the live class. Just send me a DM here on TikTok. So here now, looking at x to the power of 3 and 3x squared, what is common is x and x. And I said for the alphabet, choose the smaller one. This one is bigger than this. This has a bigger exponent. So choose the smaller exponent as your common factor. The numbers, there's no common factor for the numbers. And then you open the parentheses. X to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 2. You just simply do 3 minus 2, which is 1. X means x to the power of 1. Minus 3x squared divided by x squared. X squared is going to cancel x squared. You'll be left with 3. You bring the plus sign down. 4x minus 12. 4 and 12. The largest number that can divide both 4 and 12 is 4. Here you have x. We don't have x here, so the alphabet is not common. So you can open your parentheses now. 4x divided by 4. 4 will cancel 4. You have x left. Minus 12 divided by 4 will give you 3. So you look at what you have in the two brackets. If they are the same, then it shows you you're on the right track. If they are not the same, it tells you stop and check again. So since they are the same, the values outside the bracket, put them in one bracket. Since these two are the same, you pick one and put it in one bracket. And that becomes your answer. Okay. Thank you guys for watching to the end of the live class. I really appreciate you. You can share the video with your friends. The video is on my YouTube channel. I will also put a link to the video on my bio. The link on my bio, you're going to see the free coursework on factorization of algebra will be there. So you can just click on the link on my bio. At the end of the week, the entire course will be there for you to watch as many times as you want. Thank you to Virginia. I also enjoyed your presence. Okay, so we'll see you in the next class on Friday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Have a wonderful evening and good night rest. Adios.